Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here today. My name is Christine Reed, and I'm coming to you from Allen Hancock College, which is in Santa Maria, California. And this is our third seminar for spring 2025 for the C6 project, which is a National Science Foundation grant that supports the STEM programs at 8 California community colleges on the central coast of California. Those colleges being Moore Park, Ventura, and Oxnard, Santa Barbara City College, Allen Hancock College, Cuesta College. Big shout out to Cuesta, who's here with us today, as well as Moore Park College and Cabrillo College. We gather as an alliance and put on different resources and STEM support systems for our STEM students at the different California community colleges on the Central Coast. And we are blessed today to have Cheryl Tettelbach joining us from UC Santa Cruz to talk about STEM opportunities at the beautiful campus of UC in Santa Cruz. Cheryl, I'll turn it over to you.
Hi, good afternoon. Despite being from Santa Cruz, I actually live in Southern California, so I'm enjoying this beautiful weather like most people in Moore Park probably are. It's very, very nice right now. I'm going to appreciate it before it gets too hot again. So today I'm just going to go over some different STEM majors that we offer and then some of the opportunities associated with those majors, as well as just other majors in general. They're not tied to one specifically, but are all STEM related. So I'm going to start off with our environmental sciences and studies. So some of the big ones of this is going to be agroecology, environmental studies, and you can have a biology or economics concentration, and then environmental sciences as well. So students in agroecology can really expect to learn about the ecological concepts for soil and water processes, microbial ecology, plant physiology, aquaculture, population growth, and then predator-prey interactions. We do currently have on campus the farm, so there's a big farm top of campus, as well as gardens associated with all the smaller colleges, so where the students are living day to day. We also have internships associated with farms, and you can start signing up for those your first quarter. We also have what's Measure 43, which was a student proposed initiative on campus. And that allows for students to apply for a $3,000 grant to further different classes, workshops, field trips, and then hand-on gardening experiences and research on campus. So that's one of those things where when you go to pay your tuition bill and it says student fee, in this case, it is a $3.25 fee that each student pays to school, and that goes towards those grants for students to improve campus. With environmental studies, you're looking to identify the societal agents and structures that contribute to environmental change. And then with the concentration in biology, you can expect to learn about resource conservation, conservation biology, and the concerns about environmental sustainability. The economics concentration, I think that's really interesting, is intended to provide students with the basic tools in economic analysis and an understanding of the principles of resource production, conservation, and use in ecological and economic terms. So really you're taking not only the studies, but seeing how that impacts us in our current society, especially when it comes to different businesses and how they run and make decisions. And then for environmental sciences, in addition to providing a comprehensive preparation in basic physical sciences, you're going to have a breadth and depth in environmental sciences and a curriculum that is structured to prepare you for competitive grad schools and career marketplace. And then the core of this major is really going to include calculus, physics, chemistry, and then some of your other core classes to get you ready for your upper division environmental sciences courses. It's really going to be where each of your major courses are going to lie. So we're going to jump over to some of our physics options. So we do have, it's a typo, I'm so sorry, astronomy and astrophysics, as well as traditional physics. There's an applied physics option. Means they are very tiny programs, just because we do really go into that niche aspect. So with physics and astrophysics, the physics department offers These different programs prepare students for graduate work, specifically in physics and astrophysics, and for engineering and other technical positions in the industry. With appropriate courses in other disciplines, primarily math, these majors provide excellent preparation for advanced study in technical subjects such as biology, chemistry, engineering, geophysics, and the philosophy of science. Deviating a little there. And then applied physics major is preparation for positions in industry directly upon graduation. So if you're thinking more of just not wanting to do grad school, applied physics may be a better option for you. It is a little bit more intensive, obviously, to get you up and going as soon as you graduate. The main areas of physics research at Santa Cruz are going to be the study of fundamental particles and interactions, like high energy physics, the study of condensed matter physics, materials physics, astrophysics, cosmology, and biophysics. Currently, they have their own dedicated webpage for different scholarships and internships available to students. They also have a link on their department website of opportunities available for those who are here under DACA, specifically because quite a few internships will have a citizenship requirement. So they do provide a list of all those where citizenship is not tied to the opportunity or funding. They also have a hands-on course in producing astronomy research equipment, and that's meant to train engineers and mechanics to understand the process and participate in designing and building the custom parts for research. So we do have a materials lab on campus. And then our sciences, so chemistry, biochem, molecular bio, specifically with the biochem molecular biology program, it does feature very close faculty to student interaction. At present, every single one of the chemistry, biochemistry, and molecular bio programs do have a faculty-student ratio of 10:1 or under. So you are very, very, very close with your faculty in that case. As part of your graduation requirements, there is a senior exit, and that'll require an intensive research lab for graduation. So you are getting that experience in before you're looking for grad school or getting a career in chemistry. There's also the Materials Research Initiative, and that aims to advance specific energy, sensing, and environmental applications. The main focus areas are going to include design, synthesis, and characterization of novel nanomaterials and polymers, as well as new classes of inorganic materials with unique properties. There's also the Biomedical Research Initiative. The biomedical research aims to advance our molecular understanding of human disease, as well as to develop novel diagnostic and therapeutic tools. The research focuses on various human pathologies, including cancer, neurodegenerative, and metabolic and inflammatory diseases. And then I do know, just because it's up here, we do have specific grants currently available for those doing cancer research. And then with microbiology, it does fall under the microbiology and environmental toxicology department. Environmental toxicology is a graduate program, but they still do offer a couple classes at the undergrad level. And that is meant to prepare and attract undergrads for advancing studies in microbiology in health-related disciplines. It also provides the opportunity for undergrads to conduct research with their faculty, particularly because they are, I believe, with micro, it was an 8:1 student to faculty ratio. And then there's also a 4+1 option. Now, it is a little different for transfer students, but as long as you have met all of your major prep coursework required for the 4+1, you should be able to come in as well and have the master's option available. Jumping over to ecology and evolutionary biology, as well as marine bio. So ecology and marine biology both offer what I think are really great field courses and field quarters. So the field experiences tend to be a 5-unit course, and there are some 10-unit options while the field quarters are 15 units. So those of you who are new to the quarter system, on average, you'll take about 15 units a quarter. But the courses individually are more units. So instead of maybe taking 4 3-unit classes or 5 3-unit classes, you'll be taking pretty much like 3 5-unit courses instead. And then 2 courses if you're just doing a 10-unit field option. And then 1 supplemental. Some of the options that you're going to have are going to be marine ecology or large marine vertebrae, the kelp forest ecology. Those are all 5 to 10 units. We do offer scuba certification, which includes your research diving and boating safety. So not only are you going to be certified for just recreational diving, but that research aspect is really important, especially for those field studies and the field quarters. We also offer a couple of highly competitive field quarters. So in this case, you would not be on campus at all. Those field quarters are going to be located right now in Sitka, Alaska, and then Corsica, France. You can kind of think of it as study abroad. France, obviously, that's more in line, but these are specific to Santa Cruz students, whereas most of UC's study abroad is going to be through the centralized Office of the President programs. And then our computer science and engineering. Obviously, our largest one is going to be computer science, the BA and BS options, as well as computer engineering. So some of the research and course areas are going to include topics like computer hardware, computer security and privacy. That was a really big one that Baskin School of Engineering likes to do presentations on. Machine learning and artificial intelligence, visual computing, computer vision, visualization and graphics, and then ag tech, which I think is a really great blend for our students, or a nice complementary program, is going to be our engineering students will come in and start working with our agroecology students to see how they can build different tech for them to improve farming outcomes. Mm-hmm. On campus, we also have the Human-Aware Robotic Exploration Lab. So that is going to be the study of human-robot interaction and the development of prototype autonomous systems for use in support of manual applications such as labor-intensive work, notably agriculture, and in mitigating danger to emergency personnel in search and rescue operations. Which I know we think of that quite often with the fires, you know, as they tend to happen every year. And then we also offer a Silicon Valley campus. That is a benefit of being in Santa Cruz. If you are looking for tech, is we are about 20 to 30 minutes from Silicon Valley, and do have a separate campus there that's primarily going to be research labs. They offer the alternative learning technologies and games, that's Alt Games Lab, which is an interdisciplinary team with projects ranging across multiple domains such as human-computer interaction, learning science, electrical engineering, psychology, and digital arts. And the mission of the lab is to create and explore the potential of alternative controllers, novel interfaces, and other forms of unique input and output. Also at that campus is going to be the Game User Interaction and Intelligence Lab. Then the GUII lab focuses on game design, interactive arts, and interactive media, with an emphasis on developing new design mechanics, new methods to measure the user experience, and then expanding and applying new AI algorithms and engineering new designs. And that lab engages in the development of new applications for its broader impacts in education, health, and climate change. Biomolecular engineering, this is a different major, totally separate from our, oh goodness, biology and molecular biology students. So biomolecular engineering department actually just recently, within the last couple months, fully sequence the DNA of a banana slug. If you do not know that about Santa Cruz, our mascot is the banana slug, and somehow, even after all these years, no one had fully sequenced its genome. It is finally done, which I really love. Really bring it back to campus. And then we do offer a bioinformatics and computational biology. So the current strengths in this area are going to be genomic sequence alignment and assembly, gene finding, RNA and protein sequence alignment, and structural prediction, and comparative genomics. And those are going to be areas of critical importance for major sequencing projects as they are completed and become available for analysis. There's biotechnology and infectious disease immunoengineering, and that research focuses on the development of projects and methods useful for the diagnosis, prevention, and treatment of infectious diseases. Some of the work involves molecular epidemiology to characterize viruses responsible for new infections and to understand the evolution of the virus within individuals. And then additional efforts are focused on analyzing the immune response to infections and developing preventative and therapeutic measures that harness the power of your immune system. Current research labs running are going to be the Brain Engineers and Discovery Lab, also with biomolecular engineering, the Energy Data Analytics and Optimization Lab, which conducts research in the area of power system state estimation and energy data analytics, the Radiological Instrumentation Lab, which focuses on things like X-ray imaging with applications in medical imaging, biosensors, threat detection, and high energy physics and particle detection, neuromorphic computing group. And their goal is to understand the computational principles that underpin the brain and use them to engineer more efficient systems that can adapt to an ever-changing environment, as well as the Energy Sustainability Policy and Natural Resources, which conducts research in the areas of sustainable energy, transportation, and water management. There's a lot going on. And then mathematics and other majors. I did put this after computer science, just because quite a few of our students who apply to computer science for transfer, but then may not meet the major prep to get in. Frequently, the department tries to see if they can find a fit for them with mathematics, theory, and computation as an alternate screening major. So then students with, this is going to be for the Math BS option. Students in the Mathematics BS degree path often go on to go to graduate school. I'm so sorry. And that pathway emphasizes the importance of a well-rounded, in-depth mathematical education, and it includes advanced coursework in algebra, analysis, and geometry, and is primarily meant to prepare you for grad school. Mathematics, theory, and computation is meant to explore the applications of mathematics in other fields and gain experience in mathematical modeling of real-world phenomena using ordinary and partial differential equations, approximation, and optimization techniques, programming, and game theory. When you pull up the catalogs and you compare mathematics, theory, and computation against a computer science BA or BS degree, there is quite a bit of overlap, which is why we do recommend our students consider it as an alternative. And then these are going to be some more broad experiential programs in the sciences. Our STEM diversity research program aims to foster the next generation of scientists to become leaders in STEM by providing hands-on paid research opportunities through various funded research programs. A lot of that's going to be funded through the NIH. Our core value, truly Santa Cruz's core value of holistic mentoring, creates and fosters a supportive community and brings together like-minded individuals who share the same goals, experiences, and aspirations as program participants. So again, that funding is primarily going to be through the NIH, and along with the National Science Foundation, and then UC Office of the President. STEM diversity is also going to include the MARC and IMSD programs. So MARC is going to be maximizing access for research careers, and then the Initiative for Maximizing Student Development. These are separately funded projects, but they do share a very similar mandate, which is to increase the number of well-prepared, underrepresented, ethnic minority, and disadvantaged background students who are admitted to graduate or professional schools in biomedical sciences. UC Santa Cruz students should be applying for these in their sophomore year or juniors. So it's going to be right as you're transferring in, something to consider now. Both programs require a 2-year commitment, so it may involve a 5th year depending on when you transfer. In addition, students should be in the process of completing specific introductory courses, be it biology, chemistry, mathematics, because the program begins in summer. And then the MARC and IMSD programs aim to introduce students to program faculty, their research, and laboratory research techniques. After students have successfully completed the summer program, then you'll have the opportunity to work in a faculty lab for the following academic year. And then financial compensation is available for lab research and participation in the summer program. And then right below that, BIOE 82 is going to be our general field course. So that field course is going to be available to any student in any major. As long as you are enrolled, there's no prerequisites for it. If you have an interest in field research, that is the class for you. Then Global and Community Health, that's at GCH. Global and Community Health is going to be our dedicated pre-med track. Beyond that, we do try to tie students into internships in the area, local to Santa Cruz or in San Jose, so that they have those medical experiences, be that some students work as scribes. That tends to be more of a position, like a full-time position rather than an internship, but getting any kind of experience in a hospital or doctor's office, we do try to tie students in quite directly. And then the UCSC reserves. So as a campus, we do have quite a large amount of land. I believe we currently have about just under 800 acres. And that encompasses the entire National Reserve. So that is a long-range development plan. It's a land use designation that includes our residential campus. But that'll include a lot of the field options available for you because it does include grasslands, coastal prairie, redwood forest, dwarf redwood forest, mixed evergreen, and so these are all different places that you're going to be going on field trips. If you're in ecology, evolutionary biology, marine biology, because we do have a coastal science center. Really anything Central California, you're going to be able to get to very easily, and we're probably plugged in already. And then other research, internships, and degree-defining experiences. So the research experiences for undergraduates, REU, is going to be a summer program that provides undergrads with the opportunity to engage in research in physics, chemistry, and engineering related to the study and discovery of materials that can be used in sustainable technologies, such as low-power electronic devices, renewable energy sources. And then sample subjects have included bioelectronic devices, two-dimensional materials, X-ray spectroscopy of complex materials, spintronics, and computational materials. The MARC and IMSD programs, once again. And then for the degree-defining programs, these are all introductory experiences, like overnight trips to the observatory over in San Jose. We do run that observatory. We are the headquarters for it. Expanded access to scuba training and certification. Overnight and weekend day trips to develop a sense of place, critical thinking skills, collaboration, and field experience. And then other campus courses and programs as well. really anything to get you outside the classroom and doing the work in the field, very hands-on. Then we're going to jump into admissions info. These are going to be your general transfer requirements, as I'm sure all of your counselors have talked to you about by now. If they have not, go bug them. Really, when it comes down to it, your eligibility is going to be the most important when it comes to transfer. So all of us UCs start with your 7-course pattern. So your 2 UC English courses, your math, and then your 4 other courses, your UC breadth. So humanities, sciences, and behavioral sciences. And then, of course, the 2.4 GPA for California residents. I do want to highlight this 60 semester and 90 quarter units of UC transferable credit. Santa Cruz will consider you with less. They will consider you as a lower division transfer. So if you have your major prep done and say you only have 50 units, still apply, highly likely for you to get in. And then major preparation, difference between screening majors and non-screening majors. It's really just going to be what additional coursework you need. For STEM, the vast majority of them are going to be screening majors. At this point, I think there might be one major that's not, that would fall under STEM. So there's going to be the full list of your screening majors. As you can see, the vast majority of them are going to be your STEM majors. When it comes to these, they are all going to have major prep associated with them. In general, it's all going to be sequential. So the biggest hurdle that students are going to have is going to be math sequencing and chemistry sequencing. Physics, maybe a little bit, but unless you're going into a physics major, it's typically pretty okay. But having to do your Gen Chem 1, Gen Chem 2, OChem 1, OChem 2 is going to be the primary hurdle when it comes to completing the major prep for a screening major at Santa Cruz. Same thing with Calc 1, 2, and 3 are going to be pretty common among these majors. I'm just going to give my contact information. So we do have the general admissions, but then you can also email me directly. For C6, I believe I am the rep for all but one school. So if you need me, I am here. And then if anyone at Cuesta has any questions.
Dada, any questions from you guys? No? Good. Awesome. Super interesting. So Cheryl, what is the, do you think it's important for students to like engage in internships while they're at the community college level as well? Does that help them be more competitive for internships when they're at the UC?
I think if you're looking at a more competitive major like computer science, it can. I think that can make a difference. You know, we were having this conversation earlier today discussing different grad opportunities. And one of the main points that was made is the students who advocate for themselves and take the steps to network and take the time to meet with their professors are really the ones who are getting the opportunities. The student themselves has to take the step and engage. It really is you get out what you put in.
Yeah. So what would you say is your most unique like STEM major as far as like across the state? Like why would you choose UC Santa Cruz for that specific major?
I'm partial to agroecology for that, just because it's not just an agriculture major. We do really invest in the ecology side and the sustainability side. We also have a pretty decently closed food system loop. So the majority of the produce that we grow on campus actually goes to our dining halls specifically, or our on-campus farmers market once a week. And all of that at the end is composted and actually goes right back to the farm. So it's a good experience for students to figure out what they can grow, in the sizes needed, to meet the needs of an entire campus. Beyond that, astrophysics, I believe the last time I checked, I think we were ranked number 5 in the country for astrophysics. And then, of course, we do have the headquarters for the Lick Observatory in San Jose. We're also headquarters for one in Hawaii as well.
Yeah, and you guys were also the leader, weren't you, in like video gaming, getting that as a major?
We were the first UC to offer it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Any questions? I think that's a wrap then, Cheryl. Thank you so much. That was super interesting.
Thank you. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, everybody have a great day. Thanks, Cheryl.